Hello my loves, welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking with you about exactly what you need in order to manifest. There's a lot of confusion about this when you look online, especially on YouTube. There's so many different opinions and techniques and methods, and this is something I've spoken on before, but especially for people new to the channel, and sometimes you just need to hear it again. So I want to describe it again. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. If you want to go grab a tea, do that. Yerba mate is so good, one of my favorites. So before we jump in, I just want to share a couple things with you, a couple updates. In the description box below will be all the ways you can connect with me further. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, we have a good time over there. I have a private Facebook community, and I also have a lot of self-paced programs that I've created to help you wherever you're at on your manifestation and healing and personal development journey. And I'm going to be addressing some of that in this video too, about how those different things play into manifesting depending on where you're at, okay? My main program, like my biggest program I have, is Manifestation Mastery, and there is something huge in the works, another big program that I'm creating that is going to be added to it. So for those of you who are already in Manifestation Mastery, you're getting another course for free. This one's been highly requested. This is something I would say is one of the top things I get asked about as far as manifesting. Excuse the loud plane overhead. And yeah, so if you're already in Manifestation Mastery, get excited. That's coming. Stay tuned. You'll always be able to check with the link below for all my programs and new offers, all the things. That being said, Manifestation Mastery is discounted right now. It's $1,555. If you're watching this real time, it will be going up as soon as this course is added to it. It's going to be going back up to full price for $2,222. So if you know you want this, go ahead and hop in at the lower price, because you're also going to be getting a bonus program, okay? What else? Personal readings, email coaching, all the things linked down below, okay? That's all the announcements. Now let's dive into what you need to know really about manifesting. So, and this may sound overly simplistic at first, so stick with me. I'm going to break it down and help you figure out where you're at on your journey. But I know this used to annoy me when I would hear people say this, especially like if you've stumbled upon law of assumption. But really what manifesting is just deciding what you want and deciding to believe that you can have it. It's essentially like knowing it into being, which when you are someone who has not been having an experience of getting what you want or feeling like you're in your power, that can be one of the most frustrating things. You know, when you hear people say, just align to it, just decide, you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? And I totally get it. So I want to dive deeper and explain some of the different ways we do this, okay? So let me gather my thoughts. Hang on 1 second. You appreciate the little fur baby here with me? Okay, so we all have different levels of resistance. Essentially, you are God, meaning you're creating your reality. You have to go back to basics of manifesting, and Abraham Hicks, if you're familiar with their teachings, teaches about this a lot, that our thoughts and our feelings create, our beliefs create. But when we've gone through life and experienced things such as trauma or a lot of loss or just like health things or relationship problems or money issues, it's like very hard to see our role in that, because it's kind of all we've known sometimes. Have you ever had those experiences where things just keep getting worse and you're like, I don't even know like when or how this started, let alone how to get myself out of it? That's where a lot of people are in certain areas of their life, sometimes all. I was one of the people who struggled in every area of my life. So after studying manifestation for 8 years, I learned a lot of like what works and what doesn't work, and I've had to lead myself through a lot of different phases. So if you are not really super empowered, meaning you don't feel that you can just decide what you want and get it, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have some resistance to work through. And I really want to stress that you're perfect where you are. You're always, if you have a desire to learn how to manifest and get exactly what you want, you're going to be able to, as long as you keep going and you keep growing and you keep learning and trusting the tools and the information that comes to you, okay? The thing is, everyone has different levels of resistance because everyone's had different life experiences that have shaped them and formed their beliefs about themselves and about life. A lot of what these beliefs are deep subconscious beliefs, subconscious meaning we're not aware of them. So that's why oftentimes you'll find people who are like doing all the things and like, why am I not really getting results? And like I said, I was one of those people with every area of my life, with my health, with my money, with career, with love, just with everything. And I'm someone who experienced a lot of abuse early on, was very controlled and micromanaged, like essentially had all my power taken away from me, all of my boundaries crossed. There just was like a fuck ton of healing I had to do, essentially. Now, I don't want to put a limiting belief on, because I definitely think it's possible. I know it's possible to just decide I'm not going to carry that story anymore. That's essentially what I did when I really stepped into my power. I really started using the law of assumption. Was like, no, I'm not going to view myself as a victim anymore. But if I'm being honest, it took me several years along my journey of like kind of systematically going through and cleaning up different areas of my life, because I was someone who had a lot to work through. Now, the truth is, your spirit, your soul, God, like your essence, your inner being, whatever you believe in, nothing is too big for that, right? So it's our human perception that views certain manifestations as bigger or harder or going to take a long time. Things can shift in an instant. And when you really practice law of assumption and you really have the right tools and you really practice them, things can shift quickly. But if you are someone who's struggling, I really encourage you to just meet yourself where you're at, right? Like, on one hand, yes, you can manifest anything you want as quickly as you want, but on the other hand, I believe that we're here having this human experience and this experience of time to be able to really experience different parts of life. And I do find that manifestation really is a journey of stepping into your power and really remembering who you are and remembering your divinity and remembering that like nothing is too big for you. So for me along my journey, let me, I guess, explain how this worked, and then I'm going to talk about techniques and how those can help you too, okay? So for me, I always struggled in my health. I always had a lot of digestive issues. Like when I went to college, I started getting skin issues. It turned into adult cystic acne, which was really frustrating. I have a whole healing acne playlist if that resonates with you, if you're struggling with that. I also have a course, Manifest Clear Skin, where I take you through the exact inner journey I went through to manifest clear skin. And then all my digestive issues kind of snowballed into an autoimmune, and I just was really frustrated. And I reached a point where the naturopath was like, well, here's a list of 7 foods that you're not allergic to. And I just was like, fuck this. Like, I can't do this. I have been trying everything under the sun, medications, natural remedies, chakra healing, all the things. And like nothing was working. And I was so burnt out and tired. And I just was like, I choose to believe that my body can heal, right? And that took me on a whole journey. And for me, that looked like really working on healing my emotions. I have a program, Emotional Rehab, where I take you through that. If you're someone who struggles with anxiety, if you've experienced abuse or trauma, also if you have like addictive patterns, or just like, for me, I struggled with emotional eating because of all of this. All of that addresses all of it. So again, you can check the self-paced programs, so you can read through and read all about them. So yeah, that led me on a journey of really working on doing the inner work, essentially, because I've been trying all the things in the outside and nothing was working. Sometimes I would get minimal results, but it was like so much effort, and then I would backtrack a lot too. So it was frustrating. You know, you do put forth all this effort to get minimal results, and then you never know when they're going to go away. And the reason why was because I wasn't changing who I was being internally. I didn't actually feel in my power. I didn't understand that I was the one generating everything. I say this to clients often, because a lot of people will go for energy healing, and I teach energy healing, but I teach you how to heal your energy, because what you need to understand is the thoughts and feelings you're thinking is what's creating your energy. So you can go and have a chakra alignment from someone, but like if you're going to keep thinking the same thoughts and believing the same things about you, your energies, you're just going to revert right back, right? So it's really about taking radical responsibility. And where was I going with this? Sorry, I feel like I went off on a little bunny trail. Stay with me 1 second, guys. Yeah, so it was all about like taking radical responsibility, really working on changing things. And for me, the first thing that started to clear up was my food allergies started to go away. I wasn't experiencing constant bloating. The digestion started to heal. My skin began to clear. There were still some more steps I took to like finally finish that, because I would get like, I got almost all the way healed, but still had like some skin issues and stuff. And I addressed that in the programs as well. That for me was like self-concept stuff. But then I still really struggled with money and career, like stepping into my soul work and, you know, relationships. It was like a different process I had to go through kind of for each thing. But essentially what all of it was changing me, really understanding that it was me generating it all. And so that's the thing with manifestation. It can be a lot. It can be really overwhelming, especially if it's an issue you've been struggling with your whole life, or if you're struggling across the board. It can be really overwhelming to be like, how am I doing this, right? But it is possible. It took me a long time. It took me like years of knowing about manifestation, but really not fully claiming my power. So I wasn't really getting results. So the short answer is how to really, really manifest. What you really need to know is understand that you're generating everything. It's you. And you really need to be willing to accept that it's your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings that are creating your reality. It doesn't matter how much you try to change things in the outside until you change who you are being internally and what your inner experience is, essentially. Nothing is going to be a permanent change on the outside. So if you're someone who feels like you have to constantly work to get results, or if you feel like you're doing all the things and not getting results, this is why, okay? It's like you have to have that strong foundation within yourself. This is what I teach extensively in Manifestation Mastery. I go really deep into it. I help you do a 180 in your self-concept. I show you exactly how to reprogram your conscious and your subconscious mind, because we need to work on both. I teach the emotional intelligence. So kind of what I teach in emotional rehab, but like through a different lens. In Manifestation Mastery, I teach you how to manifest whatever you want. It's the same process. You can apply it to anything. Teach you how to manage your emotions and be emotionally strong, because how many times, I'm sure you felt this, where you're on a high because you're excited, you're like, yes, I'm an infinite being, I can manifest whatever I want, and then you look to your 3D reality and you're like, oh shit, or something triggers you and all of a sudden you spiral, and it's like the idea that you're God and creating your reality has just gone out the window and you've just turned into a reactor, right? Well, considering we are creating in each moment based off what we're thinking and feeling, you can see why you're getting maybe some crazy results or like no results, because you start manifesting and then you undo it right away, right? So the emotional intelligence is key, really balancing yourself internally and really building your faith and trust and just practicing and being consistent, right? So that's what I lead you through in that in depth. There's a lot of support if you are someone who's like, feels like you've just been all over the place trying to find techniques and try to figure out what works. I help you find exactly what works for you, and I give you a structure and you have lifetime access. There's a lot of tools I've created. So what I would like to lead into now, I think segue into, is, well, what does work? Well, because all it takes is for you to actually believe, for you to fully decide and be in your power and believe, and then trust that decision, like stay aligned with it. Technically, nothing else is required. It's all happening within your conscious awareness, but tools can be helpful to help you get there. And depending on where you're at on your journey, you may find that different tools work for you better. For example, when I first was starting, I really was not in my power. I was in a constant state of fight or flight. My nervous system was a wreck because I had a lot of unhealed, uncleared trauma. So for me, visualizing and affirming positively like wasn't going to do it, right? Like I would start and then be like, this shit doesn't work, because I was carrying such low vibrational energy. I had such a horrible self-concept. There was a lot of other stuff that needed to go on for me. I didn't know how to stabilize my emotions internally. So if you are in that space, what would serve you best would be to do things like working with your nervous system, doing the emotional intelligence work, really working on your self-concept. Self-concept is something I teach all the time. However, the other tools can be really helpful. You can use tools such as affirmations, scripting, visualizing. Meditating can be a great tool for releasing resistance. Subliminals are great. I've just started a subliminal channel. So if you're someone who's into subliminals, the link in the description box is my link tree, and you can just scroll down. There will be one for the subliminal channel, so you can check that out. But like the reason why people will sometimes say like, oh, I'm trying these techniques and it's not working, is because they don't have their belief in it yet. So you really have to find like which ones you can put your energy behind. And I really recommend with manifestation to look at it from a holistic standpoint. That's why I teach it. I don't just teach like one thing, like, oh, just do this, just script. No, like I find that it's really good to work with your nervous system. It's good to work in like healing yourself and the way you operate, right? Because if you're just in this go, 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 thinking you need to force things to happen, you're not in your trust, you're not in your power, right? So I like to address it from all the different things. So with techniques, they're not required, but they're really helpful tools to help you align, because essentially what it is reminding you that no, 3D reality, I don't care what's going on, I get to go within and choose. And that can be a really difficult thing when you're used to handing your power away, when you're used to spiraling, when you're used to not trusting. You know, many of us, if you grew up with like really controlling parents, may feel on some deep subconscious level that it's wrong for you to be in your power. Like there can be so many layers to this. I see this with money a lot too, like a lot of guilt and shame around charging for your services or wanting money, or like belief in like the shortage consciousness where you think that if someone pays you, you're taking from them and then they don't have, it's just like, there's a lot of ways that we just get in our way. Essentially, it's very clear, it's very direct. You want something, you just say yes, decide you get to have it. But you can see how a lot of people just have limits that come up right away. So it's really about like working with yourself to move beyond those limits. They're all self-imposed. There's no one and nothing outside of you that controls you. This is why we talk about how circumstances don't matter. They truly don't, because you've created the circumstances. So you naturally contain the solution as well. It's just a matter of like going in and reworking it energetically and like really building that strong foundation in yourself. So I hope that this got a little bit longer. This was one of my longer videos, but I wanted to just kind of do a refresher, talk about it. You know, I never get tired of talking about manifesting. This is my jam. And you know, just wherever you're at, keep going, trust that you'll be led to the right resources and stuff. I see a lot of people just constantly looking and searching and not really implementing anything. So, you know, if you find something that resonates with you, stick with it. You know, if you want to invest in something, invest in a program or coach or something. Like, don't just keep looking and searching, because that's the energy of not having the solution, right? I did a video about recently about how you're either in the vibe of having the thing or not having the thing. And when you're constantly looking for results, you're in the vibe of not having the solution. So just decide now, whatever it is you want to manifest, decide you're going to manifest it, and know that you will be led to whatever is perfect for you, technique-wise, life experience-wise, help-wise, whatever, support-wise, and then trust it, and then just commit to it, okay? You're an infinite being. You can have whatever you want, I promise. And it gets easier. So if you're at a point where it's feeling hard, just keep working through your resistance, meet yourself where you're at, trust the guidance you receive, because you have the answers within you, and it will get easier and you will manifest what you want, okay? So I'm sending you love. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. I put out new manifestation videos every single week to help you. Again, the new channel will be linked as well. And yeah, you can see all the different ways to connect with me. So until next time, bye.